Hey, hey, hey.
There he is.
3 o'clock, just like we promised.
On time.
On time. So we're really happy that everybody could join us today. Those of you that don't know us, Mike Draper with Window Cleaner Safety, and of course Sean Gavin with Tucker Pole and RHG Products. So we're really happy everybody tuned in today. We got some really exciting news, but just want to give you a little bit of a backstory as to why we're even talking about this today. For a couple years now, I've been very concerned about the industry in general and the water-fed usage, primarily around electrical lines. And we've lost some fellow window cleaners because of this issue, not being cognizant of a drop zone and a pole going over, touching a high power line, and then ultimately a lot of injuries and many deaths have occurred because of this phenomenon. So I've been very concerned with it, and I've talked with most of the manufacturers about the need to create something that will allow for a measure of safety, at least, in these instances. And so I come to Sean probably about a year ago, and Sean, you were pretty reluctant about even tackling this subject. So why did you not want to do it?
Well, obviously, we don't want to create a product that people think is ultimately kind of like their line of defense between safety and making the right decision on the job site. There's no way necessarily to create a product in my mind that will be 100% fail-proof, and so we've always been of the mindset to say that if you come into contact with an electrical line, or if you're in a lightning storm, you're in a lot of danger. And I think that that's best because as manufacturers, as people who are engaged with people that are in the field all the time, that's what the message needs to be, in our opinion, is nothing's a automatic safety thing, and be safe on the job site.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we're going to talk about today and this announcement that we're going to make, it by no means, and we would talk about this in safety training, the manufacturer is going to stress this, it's no means a license to just go out and do whatever you want so far as electricity is concerned. You should always set up your minimum approach distances based on the voltage that's coming into the building or that's on the high wire that you're around. There's minimum approach distances that you're supposed to stay away from those wires, and that needs to be set up. There's always a hierarchy of controls as far as OSHA is concerned, and when we talk about safety. And the first hierarchy is always elimination. So if we can eliminate a hazard, we should always do so. And this announcement that we're making today is not going to be any different. If there's a way to isolate and eliminate the hazard, then by all means, that's what should take place. However, there are times, just like other PPE where we wear them, that you cannot completely get rid of the hazard for whatever reason, or maybe the pole is up so high that the drop zone comes into play, going backwards or to the side. And so a measure of safety needs to take place. So, but again, we just want to stress, this is not a license to go out and be just stupid around electrical hazards. Electricity is very serious. It's killed many in our industry. It's hurt others. And so we just want to really stress this, that it's not a license to do whatever you want so far as electrical hazards are concerned. But this pole we're going to announce, Sean, what's it called, first of all?
The ISOTECH poles. So basically what we've done is we have taken our Eco range, and we have essentially started with that range and developed 3 sizes, the 30, the 40, and the 50 in the ISOTECH. And essentially what we have with this range is your base handle is a material that will not conduct electricity. And so we've been told that for a number of years by tube manufacturers. The biggest issue I have with that claim, obviously, is it's just their claim, and we never really had anything to back it up. So what Mike and I set out to do was to find a third-party laboratory that would actually conduct this test for us, and that's what we've gotten back over the last couple of months, was proof that in a real-life scenario, the pole, although carbon fiber sections will conduct electricity, in the testing they found that once that current got to the base handle, the current was stopped, right? So essentially, if you're holding both hands on the base handle, it's supposed to be isolated in that sense. We set this up in a real life scenario, It was had water running through it. It was DI water. It was hooked up to a Tucker DI system. And without this third-party laboratory sign-off on this testing that we had done, we would not even get anywhere near this. And again, even with this, I'm incredibly apprehensive as a manufacturer because I don't want people to think that it's going to save your life, because there's a lot of variables involved in those accidents. But as a manufacturer, I feel like we have an obligation. If we can build in some level of safety into our products, we need to do that. And so today we have, like I said, 3 options, the 30, 40, and 50. Those are live on our website as well as Mike's. And we will ultimately do all of the poles in our repertoire with this handle. So that'll be all our 3K, the minis, everything will have this built in over the course of the season.
Yeah, and I just want to comment just a little bit on the third-party testing because, arguably Tucker and us are not the first person to do this, or even there's other companies out there that have done it, have made claims. But the issue with safety is it doesn't matter if it's an anchor, if it's a harness or what it is, manufacturer spec is always king. So when a manufacturer comes back and says something, when it comes to safety, there's generally some sort of verification behind that claim. It can't just be some willy-nilly claim out there. And so the third-party testing by a lab that could actually verify this is really key. And I can't stress enough, guys, if you're looking at or you have these issues or electrical hazards and you're going to put your employee in a pole like this, that third party is really an excellent thing for you as an employer, because it provides, again, this protection that you need from a safety standpoint. So third-party testing is a must. This isn't Tucker's not the only manufacturer that I've said this to through the years, but he's the one that responded. And so we appreciate that. And we appreciate the industry being able to be safer. So the voltage that was coming through in this test, it was a real life scenario that the pole was spread out. Like Sean said, the water, everybody always wondered, well, what about the water? Isn't there water running through it? Well, we do know that DI water doesn't conduct electricity like normal tap water would, because the mineral content, the metals potentially are taken out. But we also know that guys run the parts per million at different rates. So some guys may go up to 20 or 30. And we really wanted to see if that water running through the tube would play any factor in the electric distribution down the pole. And so again, independent lab says that the voltage that ran through that pole stopped at the base. Now, there's a caution there too with that. So the base is approximately 6 foot long. So if a pole was to go over and you let go of the base and then grab above the base or anything like that, it's still going to be charged. So that's why we're really cautious about stating it provides a measure of protection, but it's not just 100% go on this thing. But it's a nice piece of equipment to have to help isolate maybe some of the cases, maybe even some of the deaths that occurred in our industry.
Yeah, if we can save one life, I think we have to make that effort. And again, without the third-party testing, I probably would have a really, really hard time with any of these claims. And even with it, every pole will say right on it, this is going to conduct electricity. We don't want people going out there carte blanche and not being safe. Safety is key. That's why we've teamed up with Mike and his safety program that we're going to be bringing you guys free of charge here in the next couple of months. And we really want to just put some investment back in the industry, try and prove some of these claims. If we can make a safer product, put out a safety program that you guys can utilize, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, and you employers, you are on the hook in this deal, because really the burden rely on you. When you send employees out into the workplace, OSHA expects that you as the employer have identified the hazards and have properly either eliminated or mitigated those hazards. So there's no way that a manufacturer, a safety instructor, safety trainer, anybody else can know every single instance that's going to happen out in the field. So this really puts a large burden on the employer, and you got to make certain that your employees are safe and using the product safely. Because another concern that we have is we know that employees like to shed sections. So what happens if you sent the pole out and the base section provides the measure of protection that we're talking about with electricity, and they decide to shuck it and go to work? Well, in that case, that's going to be a training issue on the employer standpoint. They're going to have to train their employees that section has to stay in place. So we really commend Tucker for going the distance here. It costs money to have this testing done by a third-party lab. It takes product, it takes money, it takes time, and again, with some reservations, I think, but Sean has put this product out. We really appreciate it. I'm a big advocate, as all of you know, because this is my livelihood, is safety. And like Sean said, if we could prevent one burn, one hip blowout, one hand burn, one death, then in my mind, it was worth it. And so I really appreciate Sean coming on with us today and doing this live and letting the industry know that there is now a product that has third-party testing in the U.S. That's going to meet those safety qualifications.
Absolutely. Thanks for pushing.
No problem.
Take care, guys. Be safe.
Bye-bye now.